Hey everybody, this is Summer with Summerly Design Co. And in today's video, I'm going to show you how to crochet these teeny little adorable flowers that you can use as embellishments on your socks. The particular sock pattern that I'm working with today are the Totally Rad Ribbed Socks, and I'll put a link to that pattern in the description of this video. The pattern also includes written instructions for these little flowers, but today I'm going to show you how to make them. It's very simple. If you've got simple crochet skills, you can easily make these little flowers and then simply sew them onto your socks. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to move all of this stuff out of our way. You're going to need a crochet hook. You're going to need some little snippy scissors. You're going to need a tapestry needle. And of course, you're going to need yarn. I'm using scrap yarn left over from some of the other pairs of Totally Rad Ribbed Socks that I knit, so I kind of have a matching set. I'm a huge geek when it comes to matching sets of anything. I love matching sets. So when I made these socks, I used the same colors in the flowers that I used for the other pairs of Totally Rad Ribbed Socks. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm using a size B crochet hook, and they're pretty tiny, which is great for fingering weight yarn. I wanted to use fingering weight yarn to make the flowers just so that they wouldn't be too bulky or overwhelm the socks. So you'll want a pretty small crochet hook to work with the fingering weight yarn, and I found that the size B did really well. As far as the instructions I'm about to give, I'm going to be using US crochet terms, so keep that in mind if you live in Europe or elsewhere that uses the British, I guess, crochet terms. I don't know why they're different. Like, I don't know who decided that it was okay for there to be multiple sets of crochet terms, because that's just confusing. It was probably the US. We're pretty contrary. I mean, we don't even use the metric system, and literally everyone else does. So I'm sure that the US was responsible for that. But either way, I'm going to be using US terms when I talk about this, so keep that in mind as you're following along. So the first thing we want to do is, of course, just make a loop, and I leave a long tail because I'm going to use this tail whenever I sew my flower onto my sock. So we'll just make a little loop and pull it through. And now what we're going to do, and I kind of like to leave that loose because you're going to be slip stitching into it when you finish your chain. So next, let me pull out some yarn here. We are just going to chain 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops, came out there. Then we're just going to make a circle by slip stitching into the very first chain. So that's why I like to keep that first one a little loose so it's easy to get your hook in there. Pull it through, and now we have this cute little circle. Gonna get the tail out of the way. All right, the next thing we're gonna do is do a single crochet. Well, actually, sorry. First, we're going to chain 1. That counts as a single crochet. Then we're going to single crochet 7 times into the ring. Just pull that and single crochet. The hook through the ring and single crochet. That's 2. So we're just going to do that 7 times around the ring. Single crochets. And I stopped counting because I was talking. So I'm going to have to count here in a second and see where I'm at. Okay. Okay. Got 1 more to go. Okay, once you finish your 7 single crochets, you will just do a slip stitch to join it in that very first chain 1 that you did. And that chain 1 counted as a single crochet. So you should have 8 total stitches around this ring, and you can kind of pull it to kind of tighten it. But so now we have a ring with 8 single crochet stitches. And now we are going to join in a new color. How you join in a new color is completely up to you. I like to do it this way. I go ahead and cut my existing color. And I leave a long enough tail so that I can weave the end in later. and then I just loop it through. I just kind of push that tail through the loop and then pull. Then I get my new color, which is going to be this sassy little fire engine orangey red. Get that ready to go. Then I'm just going to insert my hook underneath both legs of this stitch. That stitch forms a V, and you just want to slide your crochet hook under that V. And then grab a hold of this and pull it through. And now I'm joined in, ready to go. So first we are going to do a chain 1 that counts as a single crochet. Then we are going to do a double crochet into the same stitch. Through. Whoops. And then a single crochet into the same stitch. Okay, now we're on the next stitch. We're going to single crochet. We are going to double crochet into that same stitch. Oops, and sometimes you pull your stitches all off the crochet hook. Oh my goodness. Okay. All right, so now I need to redo. So I've done my single crochet, and now I need to redo that double crochet because I accidentally pulled it out. When you're filming kind of like hunched over, it's kind of hard to keep a hold of things. All right, and then a single crochet in that same stitch. So basically with every stitch that you have around your ring, you're going to do a single crochet, a double crochet, and then a single crochet in each stitch. So let's do one more, and hopefully I don't pull the yarn too aggressively and yank it off the hook this time. So there was my single crochet. Now a double crochet in that same stitch, and then a single crochet in that same stitch. And we are just going to keep doing that all the way around until we've exhausted all of our stitches. And again, the pattern will have these written instructions for you so that you can also follow along with written instructions. But each stitch, single crochet, double crochet, single crochet, and that's what gives us that flower petal shape. There's so many possibilities with this for so many different kinds of shapes. There are a lot of free crochet patterns on the internet for lots of different things, leaves, acorns, lots of different kinds of flowers. So, I mean, there's really a lot that you could do as far as embellishing your socks with cute little crochet anything. Almost to the end. So you just keep going all the way around until you reach the end, and then you'll just slip stitch into that petal there. And then of course tie off your yarn, and you will have what looks like this. So all those petals all the way around. When you reach the end, you just slip stitch into the first stitch you made when you first started to join. And then of course you'll weave in your ends, all except for this original tail. You want to keep this long tail because that's what you're going to use to sew it to your sock. But you can weave in all these other ends that you have, like where you joined in the new color. So you'll weave those in. All you have left is your original tail, and you are ready to sew it onto your socks. So let's get this stuff out of the way. For this, you just need your snips and your tapestry needle. And of course, this is the finished sock. You can place them however you want. I kind of did mine in a little group of 3. You can kind of decide where you want to place them. I did do mine on opposite sides, on opposite socks. So that way, whenever you have them on, they can either both be inside or outside your ankle. If I had put them both on this side, then I would have had one inside my ankle and one outside my ankle. So just make sure your socks look like this when you attach the second sock so that you can have them on opposite sides of your ankle. So now we're just going to thread this strand into our tapestry needle. This is not my normal tapestry needle. My favorite one just disappeared. I have like 50 tapestry needles, but there's one in particular that I use every time and I love it and I don't know what happened to it. So I'm using this weird big one. That looks good. I like that placement. If you don't like the placement, once you get it on, just pull it out and stick it in again and try it a little different. So now that it's in, I want to secure this. So I'm going to thread my tapestry needle through the back of a stitch, pull it almost all the way through, and then stick the tapestry needle through that loop and then pull it. And that kind of secures it. Then you're just going to stick it in. And basically I just kind of sew down this initial ring that is crocheted out of the same color of yarn that I'm using. And I just kind of sew a little circle, basically. I'm just kind of sewing down that center ring. And you just keep doing that, poking it up through and down until you get all the way around the ring back to where you started. And that secures it really, really well. If you want to secure the petals as well, if you don't want them kind of, you know, sticking up, you could take the same color of thread that you did your petals and secure the petals down as well. But that's pretty much back where I started. So now I'm just going to weave in my ends as I normally would. And you can secure this, you know, thread again if you want to, but I find just weaving in really good does the trick. I sort of weave my ends in all over the place just to make sure that they are secure. So, I mean, that's pretty much it. Just keep weaving your ends in until it's good and secure, snip it, and then you're done. And you've got two socks with adorable little floral embellishments that you crochet. So once again, this pattern is the Totally Rad Ribbed Socks. It's available in my Ravelry and my Etsy, and I'll put the link to both of those down below in the description of this video. It includes written instructions for these crochet flowers, as well as lots of different, you know, cuff, heel, toe options for making really cool ribbed socks that you can personalize however you like best. So whatever fit you like best. The pattern comes with a lot of different options for different heels, different cuffs, and of course, instructions for doing these cute little flowers. If you like this video, I'd really appreciate a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments what kind of stuff you'd like to see in the future, and go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you want to see more videos from me in the future. Thank you guys for watching, and let me know if you have any questions.